neighbor is the worst. One time this guy moved next to me, and he made so much noise every night. It was always, "Help! I'm not dead, for real! Someone let me out! Help!" At least it only lasted a few nights. That's why it's always good to be mindful when a new neighbor moves in.
In 2002, I lived in a quiet neighborhood outside of Dayton, Ohio. Once in a while, I would talk to my neighbor Sam. He was a plumber. His wife Lisa was the very unofficial neighborhood watcher and a real busybody. A few houses down was an empty house that had been foreclosed on. It wasn't in good shape, and I heard the family had destroyed the inside before they left, ripping out fixtures and punching holes in the walls. A real mess. One day on my way home, I see a family moving in. I spoke to Sam about it the next day. He said he went over there to offer them a discount on plumbing work. He said the man who answered blocked him from seeing in the house. Sam said he could still see there was no furniture, just a couple of old mattresses in the middle of the floor. "Hey, I'm your neighbor from down the road. I'm a plumber, so if you need any work done, I'd be glad to give you a discount."
"We don't need work done."
Every night around 5:30 I would walk my dog, and I would often see the man from that house come home. His car was old and beat up. The car was loaded with trash to the point you couldn't sit in the back seats. He wore clothes that looked old and worn. I figured they didn't have much money. I would always say hello to him, but he would always ignore me. So eventually I gave up and would say nothing. Once I saw him at a local grocery store. His cart was loaded with mostly beef. "Having a barbecue?" He gave me a nasty look and made a strange hissing sound, and stormed off to the checkout. Naturally, I was very confused. I told Sam about it the next day. He told me his wife had become very interested in this odd family, and had seen the lady in her backyard following a cat around. She said the lady got very angry and upset when the cat got away. Then she said the lady had a wig on and it came off. She said her head looked scaly like a reptile. I think Lisa was probably seeing things. I'm getting worried about her. She thinks they're reptilians. I didn't think they were reptilians, but I was very curious, so I came up with an idea. The next day, I walk my dog and wait for the guy to get home. When he pulls in, I walk over and release some of my dog's leash so she can go over to him. She runs over to him, but when she got close to him, she ran back to me. I walked up close to him. He would not look at me or say anything. Then he turned his head and I saw he had a toupee on. And I saw on his neck what looked like scaly skin. Maybe Lisa was right. That night, like Lisa, I found myself doing research on reptilians. I talked to Lisa on the phone to get the details of her account. Later that week, a teenager who would do yard work around the neighborhood asked me about the strange people down the road. He told me he went to ask them if they needed their grass cut. A boy answered, and just shook his head no. He could see inside behind the boy. He saw them sitting at a table. He swore it looked like they were eating raw meat. A little over a year later, they got into their old car and just took off. A few weeks after they left, there were some cleanup workers from the realtor company at the house. I went over to talk to them. They told me the house was disgusting. Dirty old mattresses that had only sheets on them, a table that looked like it came from the trash, holes in the walls, holes where toilets used to be full of feces. Garbage filled the kitchen. They said the smell was unbearable. I'm still looking for a reasonable explanation for what happened. I can't believe there were reptile people or aliens. I just don't know what to think.
I can't believe they just ran off without saying goodbye. What a cold-blooded thing to do! If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and leave us a like and comment for more hysterical horror! Get it? Hysterical horror!